And he looked at the literature, and if you ever meet this guy, you'll see he's a walking encyclopedia. But he said, if I could ever do anything that would enable the cells to produce more glutathione, it would make a huge difference in my patients. So he started on what turned out to be a 3-year quest. And of course, he started where anybody would start. Let's take synthesized glutathione, ingest it, and see what happens. Well, guess what? The stomach takes this beautiful tripeptide, it's 3 proteins in 1 molecule, breaks it into 3 different proteins, and it becomes useless. So that wasn't the right way to do it. But you can go to any health food store in America and buy glutathione tablets if you want expensive urine. And, but that's all they'll do, because they'll never make it into a single cell in the body. You cannot absorb glutathione through ingestion. So, the question becomes, how do I get the precursing nutrients, the things that the cell uses to manufacture glutathione? By the way, if you don't believe in God, glutathione is a real bad thing for you. Because for the cell to produce glutathione is a 100 sequential step process. If one step is missed, or one step is performed out of sequence, there's no glutathione. No glutathione, there's no life in the cell. The cell dies from the oxidation.
Wow.
It couldn't evolve, folks. On day 1, it all had to be there. Okay, and so...
Say that.
Yeah, well, that's true. I'll take an amen on that. But, so his thought was, if I could get the precursors, the precursing nutrients into the cell, and right into this outer wall of the mitochondria where it needs to go for it to be produced, then we'd see. So it took him 3 years, but he finally came up with a formula that got these precursing agents into the cell, and sure enough, the cell followed the path of least resistance. You know, it did what it was easiest. It took those precursors and started manufacturing glutathione. And that little process was patented and is covered in his patent. But that's not the only thing that's happened with this product. The other thing that happened, when the cell spins glutathione, putting out a fire, whether it's this fire here or this fire here, that residue, the spent glutathione, is taken out of the cell and put into the bloodstream. The blood then takes it to the liver, the largest organ in your body other than your skin. The liver then takes that spent glutathione out of your bloodstream and stores it with all the other stuff it takes out of your blood, mercury, arsenic, all the other bad stuff. However, when you're on this product, and this is also covered by the patent, lo and behold, the liver takes that spent glutathione out, adds the precursing nutrients that it now has an abundance of from this product to that spent glutathione and remanufactures new glutathione, puts it back into the blood, which then takes it back to all the cells in the body, so that the result is the additional glutathione manufactured by the cell and the additional glutathione manufactured, stored, and recycled by the liver now creates an increase in glutathione. And what kind of increase? Well, this is where it really got exciting for me as I'm seeing all this stuff. Is his AIDS patients, which averaged, now he measured glutathione in the lymphocytes. Why the lymphocytes? The lymphocytes metabolically are the most active cells in your body. They only live for a few hours. So if he can increase glutathione levels in the lymphocytes, we can extrapolate that he's increased glutathione in every cell in the body. Okay? Because the longer a cell lives, the more it's going to receive. So what happened in the lymphocytes of his AIDS patients that he measured averaged a numerical value of 48. Within 3 months on the product, it took them up to 200. So that's a 400% increase. Okay, now the reason that's so significant is a healthy adult the same age had a glutathione level of around 152. So he had AIDS patients with more glutathione level than healthy patients. He put the healthy patients on the product, and within 6 months they were up at about 350. He did his hepatitis patients. They went from 52 all the way up to 212. He did his chronic fatigue syndrome. They went from in the 60s up to about 180. Okay, in 3 months. So he did it, and he got a patent, and not just any patent. He got a composition patent. Now, why is that so special? Well, there's a patent office many years ago decided to help stimulate research in the drug companies. So they created a type of patent to protect pharmaceutical drugs, because today it takes anywhere from 900 million to about 1.3 billion to create a pharmaceutical drug and get it onto the market. And they won't do that if they don't have some kind of protection. So the patent office created a thing called a composition patent. A normal utility patent says you change a third of the formula and you have now gotten around the patent. Not so with a composition patent. A composition patent, let's say there's 5 active ingredients. So you got these 5 active ingredients, 4 and 5, and together they create an outcome. In our case, they raise glutathione. Okay, so GSH goes up. Okay, now a normal utility pattern, in fact we'll say 6. All you'd have to do is change out 2 of those, put in something else that is almost as good. So now we'll call that 1A and 2A. And you don't get quite the same increase, but you get a pretty good increase when you make that change. That would be a utility patent. Get around it. A composition patent says if you use any one of these ingredients, any one, to get that general class of outcome, you violated the patent.
Right.
Yeah, great. That's huge. So that's what we got.